Sally shows up at the Kane train wanting to discuss Billy. Kane tells her they both care about him. That's why he offered him chancellor. They bicker about whether people can change. Kane smirks that Billy tried to be what she wanted him to be, at the expense of what he wants. Kane warns she's making him choose. Lily asked him to do that, and it didn't work out too well. Billy wants chancellor.
He can give that to him.
Are you really going to stand in his way? Sally complains about Kane destroying people's lives who did nothing to him. Kane suggests she revel in Victor and Adam's downfall. Sally rejects this energy. She doesn't like Kane exploiting Billy's emotions. If he leaves Abcom, there are aspects that will blow up in his face. They get to bickering about how Jill will react. Sally tells Kane if he really cared about Billy, he'd rescind his offer. Kane wonders if she thinks Abcom will fold if Billy leaves. She denies it. Kane is trying to help. Sally warns if Billy takes the offer, it will hurt him more than Ashby can imagine. At the Abbott house, Billy tells Jack that Kane offered him chancellor and groans. He needles Billy for jumping back on his old obsession. Nikki must be devastated. Billy claims he's not taking advantage of anyone, but Jack disagrees. Billy insists he didn't engineer the offer or put Kane up to this. Jack complains about him jumping on Ashby's wave of destruction. Billy argues he hasn't accepted Kane's offer. Jack knows he will. He wants what he wants and everyone else be damned. Billy declares he'd be saving Chancellor if he took it from Nikki. The AI would decimate it, so he'd also be protecting Catherine's legacy. Jack is skeptical that Billy's this noble. Billy rants about Jack assuming the worst of him, constantly. Jack guesses Sally wasn't happy about his, and Billy confirms it. Jack seethes that if he respected Sally, he'd have already turned Kane down. They keep bickering about Billy hurting Nikki, and what Jill would think. Jack thinks his brother is still stinging from Jill's betrayal. Why is he letting Kane pull the rug out from under Nikki? Billy says Kane thinks he should be in charge of Chancellor. Jack urges him to focus on what is right. Not for anyone else. For you. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis gives Esther a big tip. She thinks the redhead must have a new man in her life. Phyllis says there's no man. Life's just on the upswing. Chelsea corners Phyllis and says she must think she's bested Victor. Phyllis is proud of herself. She's really loving life right now. Chelsea needles that pride goeth before the fall. What she's done is illegal. Phyllis doesn't recall anyone complaining about what Victor did. She warns Chelsea she's about to be out of a job. Chelsea says the fight's not over. She knows Phyllis will get sloppy, so when they strike back, she won't know what hit her. They keep debating if it's over and if the Newmans have lost, and then argue over who needs to wake up. Chelsea mentions Summer, and Phyllis insists she'll be fine. Daniel appears as Chelsea tells her that she only achieved this because she lied and cheated. Her pride and arrogance will be her downfall. Daniel confronts his mother. What happened to her helping Jack and getting Marchetti for Summer? Phyllis wants him to back off and also be happy for her. He points out she's destroying a family business, probably illegally. Phyllis fumes that Victor went after Kane and broke his promise to her. She deserves this. Daniel warns her Summer knows about this, because Nick told her. Phyllis argues, this is business. If Daniel and his sister can't understand that after all she's been through, they clearly don't love her and believe in her. She storms out as Tessa arrives. Sitting on the patio, Daniel tells Tessa he doesn't want to discuss his mother, but of course they do. Daniel rants that every time he sees Phyllis, she's done something more ridiculous. Tessa refers to them as friends, and he asks if that's all they are. Daniel backtracks, not wanting to pressure Tessa. They agree this was unexpected and that something is happening between them. Tessa doesn't want to ignore it. Neither does Daniel. They kiss. Phyllis returns to the Kane train, complaining about Chelsea and that her son is siding with the Newmans against her. Kane's sorry, he knows how it feels. Ashby warns things are probably going to get worse. Phyllis asks when they get it. When do we go? Backtracking, Phyllis asks why Sally was there. Does this have something to do with him feeling bad for Billy? Kane, what have you done? Kane admits he offered him chancellor. Phyllis is horrified. Kane thinks it's the right move. Phyllis points out he's openly defying Jill. Kane thinks Jill will see the wisdom of what he's doing. Phyllis warns, "Don't hold your breath." Kane complains about Jill giving the company to Victor. Phyllis is sure he'll regret handing it to Billy. Ashby informs her it's not her concern. This is his decision. At home, Billy asks Sally to go get something to eat, but she has a lot of work to do. She asks if she'll be working alone. Is he taking Kane up on his offer or not? They go over it being a gut punch when Jill's sold to Victor. Sally understands why Kane's offer is so tempting to Billy. He tells her he'll protect that company, but it won't destroy him. He's different. Sally seems skeptical that he's over those demons. Billy tells her someone other than Nikki will be running the company, why not him? Why can't she want that for him? Sally doesn't trust Kane, and doesn't think Billy should either. His agenda isn't in Billy's best interest. Billy thinks she's wrong. There's a depth to this gesture, as though he's trying to make things right between them.
It feels different this time.
Jack arrives at the ranch, where Nikki gushes that she's grateful for him handing over Matt Clark. Victor assured her she can rest easy where he's concerned. Jack came to discuss the crisis at Newman. Nikki sighs that it's pretty dire. They really could lose everything. Nikki starts in about failing Catherine, and Jack reminds her none of this is her fault. Nikki's glad Jabbo is safe. Jack appreciates that, but admits he's glad Victor is getting this karmic payback. He hates that the rest of the family is suffering. Hugging her, he says he wants to help and is so sorry this has happened to her. Sitting, Jack breaks the news to Nikki that Kane has offered Chancellor to Billy. She stammers that he's going against Jill's wishes. Jack is as surprised as she is. Billy claims he hasn't accepted yet. He advised him not to, but he's unlikely to listen. Nikki won't give up Chancellor easily. Jack groans. He wishes there was some way to stop the infighting and pain. Nikki feels terrible. She tells Jack how much his loyalty and friendship has meant to her. This time, when they embrace, Victor walks in.